Welcome back to this series on modeling 3D with Tinkercad and Lego. This is the third and final part of the series, and today I'm going to be showing you how to model some animals in Tinkercad and convert them into nice simple Lego models. And I'll also be showing you some tips on actually getting the instructions out of Tinkercad and into the real world so that you can build your Lego models a lot easier. Okay, let's get started. I've got a blank document I've created here called Lego Animal, and I'm just going to click into that and tinker this. If you've created a model before and you want to go back and edit it, you can click on the Tinker This button here and that'll take you straight back into the model that you were working on and let you carry on modeling. So there's my empty work plane. I've already set up my grid, but you probably need to go in and change your grid. Remember to change it from millimeters to bricks and update the grid and make sure that you have the snapping to 1 brick down the bottom there. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and I'm going to create a Lego turtle. So the first block I'm going to use is a paraboloid. And I'm not going to spend too much time here telling you exact dimensions. First thing I'm going to do though is change the color to green. So I'm going to make this say 9 by 14 by say 7 high. Let's try and put that in the middle. Just going to look at the top and see if that's roughly in the middle. Yeah, that's roughly in the middle. Okay, good stuff. So that's going to be the basis of my my turtle. I'm going to grab a cylinder and I'm going to rotate this around. This is going to be the legs. So I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to get my rotate command up here and I'm going to rotate this around 90 degrees. There we go. And I'm going to put that, just nestle that into the side of, and just bring the leg out a bit more like that. That's going to be my first leg of my turtle. And I'm going to put a foot on the turtle. I'm going to use a wedge as my foot. Again, I want to rotate this around. I'm going to rotate that around 90 degrees. And put that on there. I'm going to change the color of that to be, say, brown. So there I have a leg and a foot of my turtle. Don't worry too much at the moment about what it looks like in Tinkercad, because the whole point here is that we're trying to create something that will look quite good in Lego. So if I just click into my Lego workspace, and let's have a look and see how that looks. So there's the hump of the turtle, and there is the leg with the foot on it. So that's looking okay at the moment. We can maybe go back and refine that a little bit. I might actually move the leg back in a little bit more. Just now that I've seen it, I think it might need to just move back in a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to use the duplicate command here. Select both the leg and the foot. Duplicate. That creates a duplicate. And I can then drag that out to the side there. So now we have 2 legs of our turtle. That looks pretty good. And what I can do, group these together, select all 4 of them and group them. Again, I want to make sure that I have multicolor selected so that it doesn't change the color of the feet. So with both of them selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate them again, and I'm going to use another command up here that we've used before, which is called mirror. If I click on the mirror command, I get some arrows here, And the arrows let me mirror something in the direction of the arrows. So I could mirror it upside down. And you see there that it's now created the foot upside down. I could mirror them kind of like left to right, which doesn't really do anything. What I want to do is I want to mirror them so that I can put them over to the other side. So I'm going to mirror them front to back like that. That then creates a kind of funny looking shape. But if I drag these over to the other side, you can see that we have our feet on the other side the right way around. So there we go. That's a very simple way of using mirror to create two sides of the object that need to be the same. So there we go. Now I've got 4 feet and my turtle shell. I'm going to click back into my Lego workspace and see how that's looking. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm kind of happy with that. Back in 3D design, now we need to create the neck and the head of the turtle. So for the neck, I'm going to use another paraboloid. Just going to grab that, put that on the thing there, and this one I think I'm going to make this a 3 by 3 by 4. Just move that back in again. Maybe about there. Maybe back in a little bit more, maybe. Yep, nestle it back in a bit more. Okay, that's going to be the neck. I'm going to change the color of that to be brown as well. And lastly, I'm going to put the head on. And the head is going to be a sphere. Now I'm going to grab a sphere, put it here. Sphere I'm going to make 5 wide by 4 deep by 4 high. Now I'm going to have to try and lift that up onto the top of the neck. Now the way to do that is using the little cone on top here, and the cone creates like a little string that lets you pull the sphere up in the air. So I'm going to lift it up by 2 bricks high, and I'm going to put that, move it forward, make sure that's nice and centered. Now it may look a bit strange at the moment, but let's have a look at that in Lego and see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. One thing I'm going to do though is change the color from blue to yellow. Yellow head turtle is better than a blue head turtle. That's looking quite nice. I'm happy with that. Let's have a look at the layers and see how this is built up. So it's 6 layers of bricks. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, 5 and 6. Now if we want to build our digital Lego model here from real Lego bricks, we're going to need some way of being able to look at the layers and work out exactly which bricks we need. Now there's a couple of ways we can do this. Let's turn layers on and let's have a look at the first layer, layer 1. Now if I click on the top in my view cube, that gives me a straight down view, and I'm going to zoom in a bit as well. So one thing I could do is literally take my computer, get my box of Lego and start trying to find the bricks, but it can be a bit tricky to see exactly which bricks are which from this view here. What I could do is try and get a printout of this, and one way of doing that is by clicking on Share Your Design. If you click on Share Your Design, that then lets you download a picture of your Lego model. So if I just download that there and click on the picture, there we go. So that is the first layer of my Lego model. So I can kind of refer to that. I could print that out on my printer and I could refer to that as my first layer. And then I could go through layer by layer. So second layer, and click on share and download it. And I get another layer for me to have a look at. And I could go through layer by layer and try and build up the model that way, just by looking at the top-down pictures. The problem with this is it can be a bit tricky to see where the bricks go and see which bricks are which. What would be handy is if we could have a proper layer by layer view telling us exactly which bricks we needed and showing us exactly where they can go. Well, there is a way we can do that, but we have to hack into Tinkercad using some special secret commands. So this is a little bit tricky, but when it works out really well. There's a couple of things I need to do first before this little trick works. I'm going to go back into 3D design, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to group all of the shapes together. So I'm going to draw a box around the whole model, and I have 5 shapes selected, and I'm going to group them all together. Now that makes my model all one whole object, so you can see I can move it around there whichever way I want. Now I'm going to go back into my bricks. Nothing much has really changed here. Say straight away that you need to be using Chrome browser, the Google Chrome browser. The secret command we're going to use only works within Chrome, but there are a couple of settings that I need to change within Chrome to let this actually work. The first thing I need to do is click on the little padlock icon next to the browser link up here. If I click on this, I get a little pop-up come, and it asks me about pop-ups and redirects. At the moment, I've got it set to allow. By default, it's set to block, but you do need to change that to allow pop-ups and redirects. That'll become clearer when we carry on. So once you've done that, just exit out of that. The other thing you need to do is if you have a ad blocker installed on Chrome, you need to disable that. I actually do have an ad blocker up here, and I've set it so that the ad blocker won't work on the Tinkercad website. So if you don't have an ad blocker, then you don't need to do anything. So with those two things checked, we now need to enter in our secret command. Now Tinkercad has some special Tinker powers. These are commands that are kind of hidden in the Tinkercad interface that we can access. So I'm just going to put up on the screen the Tinker power that we're going to be using, just so you can make a note of it. Now that looks a bit scary, but just make a note of this: Tinker power .brickify.generate PDF and open and close brackets. They're the open and close brackets that are on the 9 and 0 keys. And also note that the Tinker power has a capital T and a capital P. Okay, once you've made a note of that, here's where we need to go. Go back into Tinkercad, and in Chrome, if we go up to View and down to Developer, and then across to JavaScript Console. So that's View, Developer, JavaScript Console. That will then open up a whole page of information on the right hand side of your screen. It looks very scary, and this is all of the kind of code that is running Tinkercad in the background. But down the bottom we have an entry box where we can type in some text. So what we're going to do is type in our command, which is Tinker power, and as you type, it starts to kind of automatically fill in the rest of the command. So what you can actually do is just select the command there, but I'm just going to carry on typing Brickify, just so I know I'm spelling it right. Generate PDF in capitals, and then open and close brackets. Once I type that in, I'm going to enter the command by pressing the return key or the enter key on my keyboard. Once I do that, nothing much seems to happen for a minute, but then you'll notice that a new web page will open up. This is why we need to turn off allowing pop-ups, because this essentially is a pop-up. And once we do that, it gives us our Tinkercad bricks summary. This is a complete list of all the bricks that we use in our model. And if I scroll down, you'll see that it will give us a layer by layer view of exactly which bricks and which color they need to be, and exactly how many bricks for that particular layer. And it gives us a nice handy grid that we can follow as well. So this will be layer 1, and then I scroll down to the next page, and this is layer 2. But you'll notice that it has a little dotted line which shows us the layer below. So we can line up exactly how our bricks should go. So that's layer 2, and this is layer 3. Now I just want to point something out here in layer 3. The head has some bricks that are floating in midair. If you see here, this is the layer below, and this brick here and this brick here on the front are kind of floating in thin air. If I go back to my actual design, and I can now close the console because I've finished with that. If I look at my layers, and I look at layer 3, and I kind of look underneath, I'll turn off the ground, give me a better view. You'll see that that brick there and that brick there are both floating in midair. So we just have to be a bit conscious of that. If I go back to my diagram, if I look at layer 4, you'll notice that layer 4 puts some extra bricks on the top that will secure those bricks underneath. So we may need to kind of build up bricks from underneath as well as from on the top. So just bear that in mind. And layer 5, and then layer 6. And as you can see, it tells you exactly which bricks you need to use to finish your model. So we can print this out. I can click on the print button up there, and then I can print out my summary and then go and build my model. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So here's my Lego model being built layer by layer. I had to make some changes along the way because I didn't have exactly the right bricks. But that's what Lego is all about, is using your imagination and seeing what you do have and just substituting parts for other parts. So there's the final model. I even managed to find some little Lego bricks with eyes on to give my turtle a face. There he is. I stuck a tail on the back of him because I had a few little extra bricks. Well, I hope you had fun watching these series of videos, and that you go and use Tinkercad and create some digital Lego models of your own and make some real Lego models too. So until next time, thanks for watching and have fun making your Lego. Happy Turtle!